Okay. Once again, good afternoon, entrepreneurs. Good afternoon to those who've just joined us this afternoon. Once again, glad that we could be back here for week 4. Yes, it is week 4 with all of you. So today we've got Mike with us. Mike Choke, he's from FinFund. I know many of you have been asking questions regarding navigating the portal. So we thought, let's bring someone in that can address the questions that you might have. Mike, I believe, has been with FinFund for 2.5 years now, but prior, he's also been with FinFund before joining them again in 2021. So, Mike, I'm going to hand over to you. I think what we also just want to get a feel of is how to navigate the portal as best possible, as I know many of the entrepreneurs on the session are just trying to set up profiles on FinFund.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I don't know if you can all hear me.
Yes. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. Yes, my name is Mike Chauke. I work for FinFund. My role is more on the research and support, which means I deal with system users every day. So I attend to their challenges that the system gives them, like technical errors and stuff. So basically, that is what I'm going to go through with you today so that you can at least be able to use the system without the challenges you have had before. So I don't know whether I should have extra questions with regard to the system, or we should go to try and do a funder search that I can show you how to do it successfully.
Yes, I think, Mike, you can go ahead and show us. I have given you co-hosting rights, which will allow you to share the screen if you want to log in and just show us how to navigate to in the portal.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can share my screen so that we can go to FinFund website. I don't know if you can see. Can we all see?
We can see the screen.
Okay, all right. So basically,
we can see.
Okay, thank you so much. So basically, this is the FinFund site where you go to register on the portal, so you can be linked to all type of funders who have got different types of funding products. So when you register and you get to the end and you complete your registration, you will, based on your company profile, based on the funding type, like funding you're looking for, based on how long you have been trading, based on all those things, then the system will link you to lenders that you have pre-qualified with as you registered. So when we get to the end of this sample, I will explain what you need to do when you get there. And then if you do have questions, you can always ask me even before we get to the end of this sample. But all in all, I will try and address the concerns as we go through the process. So basically, you can either come. Okay, I see a hand. Can we get the question?
Fatima, you want to come through?
I just want to ask Denise, because I mean, my problem is that I can't get past the first page, to upload my details. So I registered, but I can't load anything after that.
So you have registered, you are able to log in, but you can't carry on.
I couldn't vet my my ID number with my name, so I basically just, I can log into the site, but I can't, I'm not like a user, I can't log in, if I can put it that way.
Okay, so basically your issue is when you log in, you have a challenge with regard to your cell phone and your ID not linked.
Yes,
is that?
yes.
Okay, I thought I will address that when we get to that part, but maybe
Okay.
I should.
Okay.
Let me get to that section so that we can see what happens. So basically, you will either click on find a funder or you go to login. When you click here, you will be taken to this registration page where you need to add your details. So I have created sorry. And then there is my cell phone number, and I will have my password. And then I think this is just basic. I'm just doing this so that I can get to the sections where you really need my assistance. So then you will get to this page where it says the email has gone through to your inbox so that you can confirm. Then I will go to my inbox. Sorry. Sorry about that. I have just created a temporary email just to use for this sample. So you can see here, since I have done the basic registration, the email has come through, and I will just click here to get back to the registration page or where I need to proceed. So sometimes you may have done the basic registration and submitted, but you don't receive your email. It happens to a lot of people who use a Gmail. You need to check in your spam folder or your junk folder, or you can ask for another confirmation email that will come through. Then you log in, as you can see. I don't know whether people can hear me. I don't want to go along, but when people are not can't hear me, I'm not sure. Are we still fine?
We good?
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. So now that I have logged in, it has taken me to this page where it explains everything. Then you just need to go to the next page. So this is the page where I had a concern from one of you. So when you add an ID number, then you will need to confirm that. So basically, if you captured your names wrong from how they are in your ID, then it will automatically fix that and ask you to confirm like that. Then when it comes to confirmation of the cell phone, this is what happens. But then this is where the issue is. If your normally, or the way we do it is, if I have debts or I have had credit with a clothing store or some service provider who gave me loan, a personal loan or something, when things are difficult, we tend to change the contact number and use a new number and leave that one we were using to open the account and stuff. So I'm just giving that as an example. It might be another scenario. So this is where the thing is. So the system, because this is you applying for funding, which is credit for your business, then it applies to your personal capacity. So what happens is, if it says your cell phone number cannot be linked to your ID, it does not mean the cell phone number is not yours. It means in the credit database, the cell phone number that you are trying to add as you register is not the one that is in the system, in the credit database. That is why it gives you that feedback to say your cell phone number is not linked to your ID. So if you have access to the number that is in the credit database, so it's like your old number, it might be you are using two numbers. You can use it, and then it won't give you this challenge. But if you have forgotten that number, it is no longer working, it is no longer available, then what you need to do is you let us know via info@finfund.co.za. You explain, or via FinFund chats, live chats, you explain that you are registering on the portal and you got that message to say your cell phone number is not linked to ID. Then we will send you a form that you will need to complete and send it back to us at info@finfund.co.za with a copy of your ID. Then we send to one of the bureaus that we work with. Then they will immediately update your cell phone number within an hour. You will have been updated, so your number will be updated. Then you will be able to proceed with your registration. Sometimes the number gets updated immediately, but it takes up to 72 hours for other people for that number to be effective. So if we send you an email and say your cell phone number has been updated, but you still experience the same issues, then you can wait for 72 hours and check it from there. But normally, usually, so far, it becomes active immediately. I'm just getting my OTP so that I can proceed with the registration sample. Like I have said earlier, if there are any questions, you can ask me. I don't know if the person who was asking about the cell phone number not linked to ID is answered, is clear with my explanation before I proceed.
Yes, thank you, Mike. Makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
Yeah, so a lot of people mistake this for RICA. It has got nothing to do with your number is not RICA, because RICA is not efficient. It does mean your cell phone number is not in the credit database. So you get here, so all of the information is pre-populated. You just need to add whatever is missing. Then you go to the next page. And then as I go through, if I get to the page where you really think that's where you have a lot of challenges, you can let me know so that I can elaborate what you may need to do there. So I don't have a registered company myself. I have an old company that is in the last final deregistration process with SIPS. So in this case, I will do a sample with business not registered. But I do believe a lot of you have your companies, your PTYs, all the types of companies that you're running. So based on the ID number that you have already populated from the beginning of the registration here, when you click here, the first company that will be shown on top, those are your companies, or a company that is still active, is registered, is active, is a business active with SIPS. So as you can see below, the last one on the line will be your companies that you might have had before that have gone under the deregistration processes with SIPS. So because I'm doing a business not registered sample, then I will need to add my own details. So if the company is already in the system, it will be pre-populated. So a lot of stuff, registration number, and all this basic stuff will be added already automatically. So I will just add my own company. And then normally, if your company is not registered, like what I'm doing now, you can work around either partnership or sole. You can either choose partnership or incorporated, but you can't be choosing PTY because that has to be really registered. Then you add your tax and VAT number that are available. Then your UIF number if you do have one. But if you don't have, you can say no and proceed. Then you need to add the and do let me know if I'm a bit slower or a bit faster so that you don't get left behind. So by adding that address, already the system pre-populated that I'm in KZN. So basically, from your ID number and everything else, especially you who have got registered company, the system will keep repopulating all this information based on your home affairs details, based on your SIPs, based on your SARS and all of that. And then here, that's where you choose the sector you are in, and then you might be in construction, but then there's a type of construction you are in. You might be in education, then maybe you are not a school, you provide certain services for schools and all of that. So you just keep selecting that according to your sector. I won't be going specifically I'm just doing an example. But for you as a business, you need to carefully read through and check which one really speaks to you. Are we still fine?
Hi, Mike. Thank you so much for explaining that the registration part and the onboarding one. Can we take the questions from people who are stuck on the onboarding and the registration so that you don't go too far and maybe they are still left behind? I had asked people to hold their hands for additional steps because I wanted you to cover first the step and then they ask the question. May I request those are stuck on onboarding to come through? Thank you so much, Mike.
Okay, thanks. So while I'm waiting for hands, when maybe there are so many scenarios that get you. Oh, I can see Luyanda has a hand, right?
Go ahead, Luyanda.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm well, thank you. So my problem, I'm not sure if it is part of onboarding, but I'm finding myself being stuck in this area. When you fill out the form, I have noticed that the form assumes that you are already transacting as a business and that you're creating a turnover.
Oh, okay, I see.
So my question, because
Leander, we have not covered that. We are still on the onboarding.
Yes, it is an onboarding question. It is an onboarding question.
Until he then gets into that. Those
Precious,
who have...
my question is an onboarding question because I cannot move past the area that I'm stuck in. So I need Mike to tell me.
Mike, are you able to go backwards? Luanda, give me a second. Mike, are you able to go backwards to onboarding then?
With where I am, I can't. But any questions that has to do with onboarding, I can always attend to them.
Okay, because when you were covering the onboarding now on your questions, it didn't ask you for the amount or anything. All it asked you was the sector, where are you operating. I didn't see anything about the information relating to the activities yet. I just saw a sector. Did I miss it?
Yeah, no. So if you see on the page that is on display, it says your funding request. So we have done the basic screening. What might be an issue on the basic screening is if your company is currently not clean with SIPs. Not clean meaning maybe you are being under the registration without knowing, or your directors, you are not a sole owner, you have other directors, or yourself, you are under that review, or your partners in the business are under that review, or you recently changed your company status. Isn't it? Sometimes you might have started as a PTY or in corp, and then you changed with at SIPs, you changed status. Sometimes the system might still have old info with regard to all the changes that we have done. So with that, there's a way how we resolve that. But with the issue of you as a director, you are under that review, then the system will pick that up, and then you will have to sort yourself around those issues. Sometimes, but mostly, if not all, is the issues that has to do with you have registered a company, you have been trading on the ground, but somehow you forget to update SIPs with your activities, your yearly activities. It happens, and then they put you under the registration. At SIPs, there are different level of getting you to be deregistered. So they don't do it automatically at once. They start, and then they want to check if you will come and solve the issues, and they check you step by step until you get to like my own company. If you have seen, I'm on the last. I can't do much. I have decided even to leave it. So some people, when they get stuck on the basic onboarding, it does mean behind the scene the company has issues. So what we do in that case, us as FinFund, we then ask you to send us your company documents and to go to SIPs and take a screenshot in your, when you go to SIPs, you can go to your page where all your company info is there, and it shows whether you are that particular company that you are wanting to apply funding for, if it is registered, active, or is inactive. And it also shows your other companies that are no longer active. So when you take that screenshot, you bring it to us. That shows, yeah, everything is fine. Then we send to people who will further check. And then if really everything is fine with SIP, and it's just that from the system perspective or the side, is not updated yet, then we update that. But we find a lot of business owners, it is because they have stopped communicating with SIP, so they don't know where they are with their status. So yeah, if you have that situation, is to bring everything to us, then we can check for you. Can I then proceed from here? Oh, I can see another question from Precious.
No, it's not a question. I was saying thank you. Thank
I
you so
didn't
much.
get to ask. Mike, I didn't get to ask my question though, and I'm getting frustrated because I'm not being allowed to ask my question.
Oh, okay, give me your question. I think as we get to turn over to the amount of loan you're looking for and everything else, you will keep getting more info, but you can ask your question.
Yeah, because my question is about specifically when you're signing up. My question is, does FinFund accommodate startup businesses? Because when we register on FinFund, for me as a startup business, I'm finding it difficult to actually move past a certain stage because the way that the system is designed, it doesn't seem to accommodate a startup business. So it's difficult for me to select the appropriate information or to select more than one information, more than one option that is given, because the system only allows you to select one option at a time. And now it's difficult for me to capture accurately my information on the system. So I'm unable to move forward. I can't even move to the funding request section because I'm stuck on onboarding.
Okay, all right. So normally what happens is with a startup, you should register to the end. I will give you some of the solutions that may assist you. You can do a follow-up with me even tomorrow, so we can try what to do. But basically is, even if you are a startup, you can register. Yes, you register one query, if I request, if I may put it so, and then you get to the end of your registration where you get linked to different lenders based on your profile. If you are a startup, it might not link you to those. There's a section where it checks you on the system where there's a lot of catering for startups. But in your case, if you are having difficulties in terms of you can't proceed from there because you are a startup or because you only can select one, what we can do is, once you have created your profile, you can come into the system and request a new product as long as you still have your email and your logins. But in a situation where you feel the process that you have taken so far that is declining you, if I may put it so, you want to proceed, you are stuck, you can always again chat with us on the live chat or send an email to info@finfind and say, I'm struggling here. What we do, we reset your account. We reset everything, like you start again. Either if it is not technical, it's just you not able to select what you wanting to select. We do the partial reset, which means when you log in, you will find everything cleared. Then you need to do a new application. But if the query that you send to us is technical, maybe there are issues really beyond whatever you were doing, then we reset your whole account. We ask you to register again using the same email. So even if you are a startup, there's a way you can proceed to the end, because you might find out you get matched to companies or lenders that are willing to work with startups on an early stage funding. So really it's unique, but if you can send me a follow-up email tomorrow morning, I can get to assist you and work with my colleagues and see what we can do.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Could you please share your email? Because I did what you've just mentioned. I reached out to support. The response I received from someone on your live chat was not helpful. And also when I emailed, I didn't get a response. So if you could maybe share your email, then maybe I can talk to you directly, because I'm seriously stuck on onboarding, and I've been trying different ways of how to move past the onboarding phase. And I'm unable to, because of the way that the system is set up, or the form is set up.
Okay, all right. Normally, yeah, it is my direct email is just mike@finfind.co.za. So info is for everyone who's working on the support, and mine is mike@finfind.co.za. But it is rare that you can't be able to register to get to be matched with lenders, because even if you are a startup and you want pre-qualify with other lenders, there are quite few that you can match with. So really, we can look into that. And then there are other channels within the FinFind system that will take you to, if you are a startup, so that you can start from there. But for now, let's sort this out tomorrow, as I have said. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, Mike, I think what I had thought or wanted was for people to be saying, you completed the onboarding in front of us.
Yes.
And for me, what you completed was purely from your company. For example, it would be from your company. But what I am also feeling is that if you don't know which sector you belong to, or you are in different sectors, maybe some of your business is in another, it's in logistic, and some of it is in construction, then you do have a problem, because not all funders will fund both. Some will fund that, some will not fund. So when you are entering, you have to know which sector. And I think that's the only part that will then make maybe your profile not to be able to continue. But also when you are finding a problem, take a screenshot where then it's easier for the technical team to check, is it the way you have completed the information, or is it a system error? I have used FinFund program using different emails and using different companies. It was very clear to me at the onboarding, the information is purely from your side that you are feeding into the system. It's not yet vetting yet. It vets in when it takes your ID, when it checks your ID, when it vets in your cell phone number. And those are from what I have learned about it, those are the only two things that it check. I think also the ID, but because your SIPs is already loaded in, it just pulls all the companies that you have ever been registered in. You will then link which company you are applying funding for. So even if you have different companies, you can still use FinFund as long as you are making sure that you follow the process from beginning to the end. I've applied using FinFund on a domain company. I've applied using FinFund using an active company, and all of them have gone through as though it's a separate profile, because again of how I had structured. So we need maybe just to make sure that you take the screen, you make sure also you are clear which line didn't allow you to go through. Is it a verification issue or is it a link? So that when then you are getting support or help, it's very clear. You can also show the error messages. Thank you so much, Mike. You may proceed.
Yeah, thank you. And the other thing is, if you happen to have issues, don't change email and go and create the same company profile on another email. Talk to us, because when you go and create another profile, the same company with another email, it contradicts on the system, and then we end up not knowing what might be an issue. So if you are having any difficulties with your email, let us know. Rather, we reset the same email so many times than you creating profile for one company with more than one email. So basically here you will have your the funding, the amount of funding that you're looking for, and I will do, I'm looking for working capital, and then I'm looking for cash flow, just so that, let's say I do have the device. This is just for practicing reasons. So here you will select when did you start trading. So you see, I'm choosing 2019 as my
So tell me something, Mike. If maybe I need research, I also need working capital, I also need asset, can it allow me to choose all of those at the same time?
No, you have to apply for one at a time. When
Perfect.
yes, you have to apply for one at a time. You can come in and add another query in your profile as you go, but for that particular time, you apply for one.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So these are just basic details for the company. So as you can see, there are info that is like pre-populated from my side. So every morning we do a test to check if the system is working before people call and say the system is down. So that is why you can see I already have some basic info that I always have. So you add in all the details, and your BEE level. So these are basic stuff. I will be quick so that we can get to the end and have more questions. And then, yeah, you can, these are just basic info that you need to add. So let's say I do have insurance for my business and for my electronic stuff, equipment, and I don't have a collateral. So basically, here in this section, you just need to be honest, because now you are more like vetting yourself. This is pre-populating to get you a specific lender who is the funding for this specific query. So if you say your annual turnover is certain amount, it has to be that, because there has to be documents supporting that. Like you have seen that warning I had yet to say, if I'm saying this is my annual turnover, all the documents, all my company documents, all the statements should support that. Okay, that's it. Most of you are adding you are checking your money into the business, so it asks this question. So here you don't attach document yet. It just asks you these questions so that when you get linked to, you get matched to lenders, then because they have their own criteria, you are pre-matched to them. But when you start being linked to them, then they need you to have some of these documents. So this is sort of just to check if you have the documents before. Otherwise, you don't want a situation where you are now having to liaise with the funders or lenders and you find you don't have these documents. So it might even challenge you to start putting them together. Again, if there are any questions, just let me know.
Yes, Mike. So let's just say for a startup, you're not going to have management accounts. For a startup, you're not going to have, please go up a little bit. Let me maybe see which ones will apply to a startup.
Okay.
You may not have a signed contract and orders yet.
Yes. So you will say you don't have those. So basically, again, the only lenders you will be linked with are those who don't care about the other stuff you don't have.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And in most cases, you can have a first like business loan with them, and even if you are a startup, and then as you grow with them, then you will start qualifying for their bigger loans and stuff. It does happen. So here, then here you just need remember, FinFund is not it's a link between you and lenders. So you don't have to like our other systems that are out there where you have to upload all the documents because you are dealing directly with the funder. Here you just need to choose one and then you go and upload. So I think some of you might have an issue here. When you click here and come to here to upload, then it opens this box. Then you need to click here so that you can be checking to your documents and you can then upload which the documents that is required there. Then that's how you upload. So if you need more than one, you can always go here again and get another document based on how many you should attach on that particular. Then you can always confirm that you have attached to your document. Then with the bank statement, again, you do the same thing. You go there and then you go for that document. So far, the system can check any in Word or PDF text document. There are no issues with that. Then, yes, we're done that. Then it gives you your credit score. Mine is not so clean. Then you can go to this summary page and then you then declare and then submit. So since when you have so from my exercise, you can see there were no matches. In other words, based on my research, I did not match, not because my company is not doing well. It's based on the research I have done. So what you can do if you have a situation like this, because it is how you came all the way, like populating your company details. You can always send us an email or call us or send a live chat and tell us to reset your account so you can do another funder search. So I don't know if there are questions here, so that I can at least attend to practical queries that you have, to concerns that you have. Yes, I see it somehow.
Thank you, Mike. If I go up to the end and I reach that stage where it says currently there are no funding that's available, or it cannot match me with any funder, I cannot on my own go back on the system and change the information. I need to via you so that I can change the information.
you can log in, and then when you log into your account, there's a button that says new funder search. You can click there and do another funder search. That's where it answers the question that we had earlier to say, can you search for different products at the same time? No. So logging in and going to new funder search, then you can search for a new product, or you can redo the funder search so that you get matched. So you can play around it so many times. Even if you need your whole account reset, we can do that from our side, as I have said earlier.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes. I see there's I see another hand. Our chairperson, can you see there's another hand?
Yes, is Gobodiwe, please come through.
How would you? Maybe they can't hear us.
Yeah,
But
I've asked them to unmute.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hello,
Yes,
hi.
Yes. Thanks, Mr. Mike, and sorry for coming late. I was having some errands to run. I want to find out this website.
Yes.
Is it linked to all the financial institutions of South Africa, namely
Yes.
your banks and the financial institution of government?
Yes, it is linked to all of them. So basically, if I was qualifying, for example, here on the way it says I'm not matched. If I'm matched, what was gonna happen here? It will say you are linked to 3 banks. Remember, if I'm to be linked to a certain bank, I'm linked based on their funding product. So it will link me to ABSA, but in ABSA it links me to funding for assets, and maybe I did not qualify for their other funding. Then it says in the private sector, you are linked with all, it gives a host of lenders that you are pre-qualified with, all of them, even so with funders, there are government fundings, different funding products. There are bank fundings, different funding products. There are private funders, different funding products. So it pull all this info or these resources based on your profile at that particular time. And what happens is, so the funding product we have in the system is around 632, around there. So it pre-populates with some of them as per your company profile. So what happens is, if I was matched here, I was gonna be able to contact them, to open the link and find, okay, I'm pre-qualified. So if I go to them, this is what I need to check with me. This is what I need to tell them. But then with us as FinFund, there are lenders that we are contracted with. In other words, the moment we see from our side that Kaubudiwi is matched to this lender and we are contracted with, in other words, we are allowed to assist you on their behalf, so that when you go to them, you have everything sorted. So our account manager gives you a call and they tell you, they check you in the gap process, so that you get your funding from the lender which you are the one that you are matched with. So yes, you get linked to all the lenders in South Africa, but it is basically based on your company profile, where you are at, what you're looking for, and all those basically like small details.
Okay, no, thank you.
I just want to mention, entrepreneurs, that FinFund, there is other matching platforms I did share with, shared with you, those ones. I think it's about 2. However, FinFund has the most comprehensive. That is why we actually partnered with Darlene and the team. They have the most comprehensive in terms of getting the list, or having the list for both government and private sector, including grants. And that is why we partnered with them.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Can we take more questions on the individual areas then, or maybe I don't know if you guys can share your screen. Just that you have to understand that this information is going to be published. So maybe consider playing the area where it's private information, but our aim here is to help as many people. If you don't have, you need to work out the time, maybe Mike can also share this with you. But please, Mike, if there is any other thing that you think you can assist, what you guys have found is the reason why people will end up with no matching. What are the things, and how can they also deal with that even when they are doing it onboarding? Please.
Yes, number one, for a lot of businesses, I'm concerned with the whole SIPS issue. So if you have had issues with your directors, it is good even to ask your directors if they are under no way they listed with that review, because we receive these queries and we try to find out what is wrong with this company, what is wrong with their SIP standing, only to find out later that one of the directors is under that review. So outside of the system, just if you own your company with other directors, just find out their personal credit score and stuff, so that you don't get stuck when you really need money at that particular funding. Again, don't go for funding when you are under pressure. It is something that you want to do now, unless it's purchase order funding. If you are looking for any funding, do it even when you don't need it, so that you start seeing the trend. What are they going to be looking for? You read those trends by starting to apply, because really when you apply on the last minute, you get stuck. So anyway, if you are using FinFund system, you can always log in when you have collected all your documents and come and upload them. So you don't have to do everything in a day, because the more the required document you have uploaded, the more you get like in terms of them, because when the account managers call you, they will ask you for this extra document that you did not upload on the system. So when they start calling you, in case you have matched to contracted lenders, you can tell the account manager you are still going to look for this, for that, so that when you submit everything, and you have more chances to get your loan, your business loan, than to just submit something that is not complete. So basically, that is that. And if you are, for those who are applying using their accountant, using other companies that assist you on the system, try and make sure that even on your site you have all the details. You can also log in on your own, because some use accountants, some use consulting companies for their profile to be created. Try and make sure you are on the same page with all your assistants. But otherwise, that is all from my side. But as I have given out my email, you can ask even on the info, even on the live chat. You can ask if there are any challenges when you register.
Thank you so much, Mike. There's someone on the chat saying it would be helpful to get a report giving the reasons why there is no match. I'm not sure if, Mike, you wanna also share why would it be that? And I have my reasons I will add in from what I have learned about the system.
Yeah, as I have seen, maybe it's because one, I'm not a registered company. Two, I selected partners. So automatically this is like sifting. It's like saying, no, we don't fund the company that is not registered. No, we don't fund a company that is partners. So basically, those are the reasons. The amount you're looking for. How long have you been trading? If you saw my trading years, I said I started in 2019. So that might count as well as maybe the funding they want. Like, yes, in most cases you have to be 6 months or 1 year trading, but for other funders they are looking for you have been trading for longer than 2 years, and based on the amount you're looking for, and like a lot of stuff really. But again, you can do another funding. You can keep your house in order. In other words, some of us is because we don't put our records in place, we don't have everything in place. Try and make sure that gradually you start having all the documents in place, so that by the time you apply, you have everything. You are up to date. I mean, but you can add, and I see, and
Okay, Leon.
Mike, just on the point of what you've just said about how long you're trading, right? If you've been trading but have not been how do I put this? If you've been operating but you have not been making revenue,
yes,
right? But you
yes.
are operational, and the operational component part of it is that you are the one taking your own money and spending on your business because you're still getting yourself going. In a
So
situation like that, it's different. Yeah.
So when you use your own money to keep your business running, are you taking your money into the business account, or you are just doing things for the business, but the money is not going via the business account? How do you do it?
It's both. So on certain occasions, I'm putting money into the business so that I can keep the business account open, because some of the banks, they will close your business account. But in a lot of cases, I find myself having to also use my personal account because of this, whatever circumstance I'm in that moment. The point is,
Okay,
though, is that I'm not making money yet, but I'm putting in whatever money I can make. For instance, with grants, I've
yes,
received grant funding, but it could not be placed in my business account, so I had to use my personal account, and that money was going into the business purely. So now it's difficult to demonstrate that in your funding application, because in your funding application you don't have any return. So what do you do then?
okay. Let's say you say you have, if you look at private stuff, the money you have used from your own private account, and then you select you have annual 10,000. Let me give an example: 10,000 annual turnover. Then it means when you work with account managers, or you submit this literally to the lenders, then you must have had a document that proves how your private money, how your private account has worked towards keeping the business running. So it's the issue of balancing the two, all the transactions that are going in your business account, and all the transactions that are going in your personal account but doing business work. So you have to balance the two so that it speaks to the turnover that you have mentioned. I know it's difficult and we tend to forget that, but you just have to keep making sure that those two are linked together. You keep records of them. And then if you have an accountant, they can always be handy to assist you with that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with my experience, we tend to sometimes we use money from the business for personal. I know it is not common, but it sometimes happens. But the most common one is you using your personal money to get the company running, but you are not recording it. That is dangerous.
Because
And
now that business does not have a track record. So even
yes,
if maybe the grant was paid to you personally because the government maybe does not fund a company, but they fund you as an artist, for example, you should have taken that money and transferred it in full to the business and record it as then the grant that has been received, so that then the transaction, you build up your profile, so that then also the history is built in.
yes. The other way to go about that is to check your personal money, put it in your business account, and the reference for that money, where it comes from you as a person. Remember, it is for two reasons. It is for you to be fundable, yes, as a business, But at the same time, it's for you as a person to say when the company makes profit, then it has to pay you back that money. So sometimes there's a thin line between the two, and most of people, even when the company starts making profit, it becomes difficult to say how much is the company owing the director or owing the CEO or the company owner, because nothing has been clearly recorded from the beginning. So you lose as a person. Yes, the company is doing well, but as a person, all your investments are no longer really traceable.
Yeah,
I see.
I just want to point out that in
I don't know.
Sorry, Mike, I was just trying to say that sometimes it's not easy to do that. Practically, yes, in theory, it works to say take the money in your account and put it in your business. But in reality, it doesn't always work like that. Like I mentioned before, the banks often close your accounts if you are not transacting. A lot of the
Yes.
time, banks require you to put in, even if it's like you got 20 Rand or whatever, and sometimes you don't even have money, and then they will close you down. In certain cases, they close you down without notice. Then you're stuck because you're stuck with your personal account, having to use that as your personal business account, right? So it's
Yes.
not always an easy thing to
Yeah.
to get that money, and also depending when you're getting funded and all of that.
I
So
agree.
yeah, so it's
This
very
is
challenging because I'm an artist and I'm not in a professional industry like whether an attorney or accountant or doctors or whatever. For artists, it's a very different experience, and it's challenging. So that's why I'm asking all these questions, because when it comes to the FinFund platform, how do we as artists navigate? Because a lot of the time we feel like we're not being accommodated in the traditional sense, because the traditional ways of applying for funding is not always applicable for people in my industry.
Yes, I do understand you, and I don't have any issues with that, and it's a concern. Some of the things you guys are saying, I will check them back to FinFund for improvement. But the other thing, from your personal money that you're using, as long as when you put this together, your receipts and stuff, as long as you have an accountant to certify all of that, to say this is true, this is correct, this is, if you can have that as a document and verified by your accountant, it should work with most of the lenders. I can't be speaking for all of them, but I do know if the accountant, even if you can get an accountant for once off and they verify all your transactions, all your records, better do so, because they are certifying it, means it is correct, it is it, than trying to run away from the. I know they have the funding application process in general is draining, and yeah, it's true, but try and get an accountant to certify all your records, especially from the personal account or from the personal receipts and stuff that we have had doing for the company. Yes, there are still hands.
Yeah.
I see two people raise their hands.
Please take them. I'm trying to source the information that they are asking for. Please take
Okay.
them.
Okay, how would we? I can see a hand from how would we? Or maybe we can't hear each other, but I can see a hand from my side.
No, yeah. So this is just a bit saddening for me, because I spent 2 hours working with Uluyanda on Saturday,
Yes.
assisting her on what is available even outside of FinFund. and it feels like we're still going back to the same issues. But I also understand maybe she thinks in other platforms. So what I want to say is that the artistic environment is not necessary, especially with, is not developed enough. The film industry in South Africa is not developed like Hollywood. It's not like Silicon Valley of some sort. Actually, if you want to raise capital of funding in the film industry, it is venture capital that you should be approaching, not a typical funding platforms. And it's angel investors and. So I think also that time, that is what I was trying to drive at over the weekend, Luyanda, that is the approach that you should, but also it's multi-funding, it's getting 10 rand there, 5 rand there, with the aim that it then helps you to build up. So, yeah.
Yes, the other thing I can assist with is to get more of those type of available funding, the angel investors and all of that, and maybe send to, if I do have emails of the participants, I can send, but I don't know if that can help. But because we deal with these things every day, I might get more extra information. I will pass it through.
No problem. So what I'm thinking we can do from our side, we can make a list for you, Mike,
Yes.
the industry that they are in, and the so that you then will know which ones maybe the private investors and also venture or angel investors are actually available in those sectors. Will that assist?
Yeah, it will assist, because it might be not something that I can do like today, tomorrow there are answers, but it's something I can work on.
Okay. Okay, no, that is fine. Thank you so much, Mike. Guys, those who are saying FinFund is not working for them, I've shared another 2 platforms that are doing the similar, but they don't have the number of the funders as FinFund. They are also very much short term, most of them. So please have a look at them. I also had shared a working what is it called? A working document which the government it's like a government pack, and that will also then assist. So please let me allow Ukhaobodile to actually come through, because he says he can't mute himself, and I've been trying to unmute him, but it keeps on going back. Maybe it's his machine.
Oh, now it's
Hello. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, now you can speak. Okay.
Yes, Mr. Mike. You know, South Africa, I want to speak for myself.
Yes.
You know, and it's only fair if one speaks for himself. I started opening my business around 2012, right?
Yes. Yes.
And by that time, I was fresh from Technicon. And from the Technicon, there are things that I've learned. And I came home to come and implement them, you know. Before the first solar plant can be built in South Africa, I already had those proposals. And I went to NYDA, to CIFA, all these financial institution of government, you know. The sad reality, Mr. Mike, is that we find people in this institution that are using template information.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? They take information from the bank and copy it and paste it on the financial institutions of government. And that's a very sad reality. Mr. Mike, we will never make inroads. That's my opinion. We will never make inroads, especially the Black people, into the mainstream market because of these things. You know, all these financial institutions, Mr. Mike, especially of government, they don't have people that can practically write business plans. They are called business advisors without the know-hows or without the experience of running businesses. None of these business advisors that I've come across, Mr. Mike, have ever run a Snoop tuck shop, or, you know, how we grew from school. I was taking pictures, camera pictures before you can get these smartphones and everything. So I know what is business, It was just unfortunate that I took my entire effort and placed it on government institutions to give me the startup to start a business. But we are not making any inroads. And it's unfortunate that we are compared with the mainstream economy or the mainstream businesses when I want to start a business. Forgetting that I'm from the apartheid era, and we as Black people, we have never been given opportunities to be in the mainstream institution, in the mainstream economy. You understand? It's unfortunate, Mr. Mike, that I don't know, as an institution, and I'm not saying you are doing it. This is just a work tool that we can use, but we still have many inroads to make in the mainstream economy. We don't have capable people that can help us. And I don't want to regard myself anymore as a small business. I'm not a small business. I'm a businessman, And these things being regarded as small, medium, and big businesses, I think we should get away with those things because our opportunities are being taken by people who are coming from outside. And those people are bringing in money in South Africa, do whatever they do with that money and make it clean in South Africa and take it back where they want to take it back. I don't know, as a FinFund, is there any platforms that we as business people can use to tell government or to tell this financial institution that what you are currently doing, you are not helping us at all? I thank you, Mr. Mike.
Okay, sure. I have taken that. I do know that Darlene has had to challenge some of them to say they have to look at it the way you are explaining it. But I will do a follow up and find what needs to be done.
Thank you, Mr. Mike.
So I stated FSCA, which is the FSB, the Financial Service Board that regulates financial service providers. I think what has happened with the country, we have not built community development banks that are robust.
Yes.
And that's the reason why. But the system for us as entrepreneurs, whether how we influence and ask, I don't think the system is going to change. What should be changing is that we need to see more developmental banks, more cooperative banks, and then we're going to see development. And so far, we are way out. The system is cracked as it is. We need to also consider that 100 Rand from someone else and another 100 Rand, that's the only way we can build. So someone might have a skill. So crowdfunding is not just crowdfunding. You can crowdsource, crowd skill. Crowd skill means somebody else can do that, somebody else can do that, but we all want to work towards one thing. The challenge with us, we want to work in a silo, we want to work alone. As a result, we don't have money, we don't have sufficient skill to do everything. Then we end up chasing our tail. 2 years later, you are exactly where you were when you're starting. So crowdfunding is not just about funds, but it's also can be about resources, about the skills. So that's what I want to say. But I want to give the perspective that I am sitting on the other side. I am seeing what they are trying to do. As I said, we are picking up that these are the instruments that are missing in our economy. Samuel, please come through.
Thank you, Sis Precious. I think I just want to support what you are saying. I think in another platform where we're discussing about this thing, we looked at China in the fact that China has changed their way in which they raise funds by doing exactly what you are saying, looking at creating their own developmental banks or institutions that can support the way in which they're doing business. In South Africa, the current institutions that we're having, our banks, are not supporting what we are trying to do in terms of economic development, in terms of growing our economy. They are rigid. They are operating like that for years, and it will be difficult for us to change that until we come up with our own that will be supporting, like as Khabudiwe is saying, things that we want us to see happening in our economy. Will never be able to reach wherever we want to go to. So I support what you're saying, Precious. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mashaba. Can we then release Mike? Mike, we will consolidate some of the queries and the industries for those that are coming up to saying they did not have funding. I've made a list on the chat box of the possible reasons that of the things that you should be looking at when you're analyzing, but might also say, try another inquiry. When you come to a point where it says no funding, try another inquiry and choose another option in terms of what are you looking for funding. And I think FinFund is the best option for you at this point in South Africa. There is another institution that has this much data. But as we also, as entrepreneurs, need to focus on what we can control, what is within our control, what is possible within our control, and work on that. Mike, is anything you want to add?
No, thank you so much for the time. And yeah, people can send their queries, their technical queries, and we will assist as much as possible. info@finfind.co.za, mike@finfind.co.za, and the live chat at FinFund. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mike. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, today we had asked that FinFund actually come and assist where the areas are. Please remember to take the screenshot again. Just make sure that as you're moving along, where you're stuck, you're having screens so that it's going to be easier to help. We're all here to try to help, and we're going to dedicate as much physical possible time and resources to make sure that you are able to get the list. Those that have the list, Denise, please create some sort of a survey, but that allow a person to type, so that we now can start inviting those funders that for those, because there are those of you who've already got, maybe there are 5 or there are 3, whom we would then invite. I did think that also CIFA and CEDA should be just a standard for us to include them on this, so that they can then share what they have picked up, what works, what doesn't work, when you are actually applying for funding. We are going to start a process of reviewing the revised business plan. The revised business plan and the positioning of your businesses. Please, when you are submitting, submit those with your strategy, with your strategy document. We will read your strategy document and then use it to then help us to see how you intending to implement. Keep in mind that your strategic document is really a mapping for the next 10 years, but the business plan is an operational plan now on how you're gonna get to your objective, which is your destination. Those of you who are running businesses which is project-based, understand that you then have to ring fence that project. You have to ring fence that project to only just talk to that specific project. And therefore, try by all means to make it some sort of an extract, so that it focuses on helping you to match you to the right potential fund. I do need entrepreneurs to make sure that you also look at VCs. You also, especially those who are in the ICT space. VCs in South Africa are very strong. In Cape Town, there's quite a lot of also VC that are already there, and also angel investors. You also need to look at the private equity funders. The private equity funders in South Africa, majority of them are funding in the property space. Let me repeat, the private equity investors, majority of them, they are funding the property space. We have not seen them funding other initiatives aggressively. And I think that is because maybe that is where the most money and the most security you can get. There is someone here whom we had shared some notes on the property developers. How many property developers are here in this group? Can maybe I see hands of property developers? Please note, I'm also, when I'm saying property developer, I'm also talking about people who are in construction. I'm talking about the built industry. Can I have the hands so that we can count? Denise, please assist me. So it's only 2 people, no problem. Nelson, I've spoken to Pindile. Nelson, would you please just maybe articulate your business? And Matt.
Hi
Nelson?
everyone. Yes, no, I'm venturing into a student accommodation business
Where? Which province?
in Mpumalanga.
Which university or which institution?
Near Mpumalanga University.
Oh, okay. So the Mpumalanga University, which is in Nelspruit campus, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Perfect. Okay. So maybe myself, Nelson, myself, and Pindi, we can have our own group, because then we can exchange the funding list plus also the research. So that, because remember, they're going to fund you based on the opportunities and the research that you have done. But they're also going to verify that research. So cleaning that up and the wish-sharing note will also be very helpful for you so that you are very clear. I am planning, I have Utabang, who does also business plan for property development. That is what he does for a living. So a specific one so that he can then read and review and analyze. He's also can help us to raise more funds in relation to that. So please, Denise, sort that out. It doesn't have to be within this group. We're going to do that because it's too little of those that are doing it. Okay, so there's someone who's saying me too on the chat box. I hope the team is making a note. Denise and Mapote is making the note on that. There is another team though, another group, which is in the manufacturing. Fatima, and I think it's Fatima, it's Freshmo, it's, I think there's few more people that I know are in the manufacturing. Within the manufacturing, Fatima, if I was you, depending on the stage that you're at, I will look at the grants. I will also look at Productivity SA, how to make your operations to run like a machine, how to systematize your business so that you are ready to scale. Fatima, are you hearing me?
Hi, Precious. Yes, I am listening to you.
Yes.
So I was at a workshop on Tuesday with CEDA, where Productivity SA was there. I definitely am going to make a follow-up for them to come in, but there's a minimum requirement. They need your business to have 10 people or more, I think, and we just below 10.
How many are you having? Because I have interns. I've partnered with different companies in the country that we can give interns that can beef up the number of employees you have.
That's brilliant. We 6 at the moment.
So you're short by 4.
4.
Do they need to be full-time, the 10?
No, interns as well, they said.
Yeah, okay. So you can add the interns, you can add your accountant who's a freelancer in that group. You can, okay. So you need to figure out how you're gonna integrate your systems. But the aim that you should also be trying to say is that if I wanna do Productivity SA, which program I'm gonna take and start working on the file and their systems that they will actually empower you, so that by the time you get to that stage, you are ready for them.
Okay, awesome. Yes.
And that applies for all those that are in manufacturing. The reason why you want to do that is also to get ready for the grants. There is a grant called Productivity and Improvement. You can also look at that at the TIC. Please analyze those, because they will then assist also with the equipment and your scaling for team.
Yes, and also because we want to be SABS approved for some of the chemicals that we make. So we would definitely need, it's sort of interlinked, you know, the one with the other.
Okay, so great. So Freshmore, I think you fall in the same group. And apologies if I have not called your name. It's because sometimes you guys enter into the group without putting the names that you have put on your application. And so when I'm looking on the list, it's not the same people that I am actually going through on your work. But those that are in services, there is people here that are in services. Can I have the hands for those that are in services? Because I'm thinking the ones that are in services, like professional services, like training, or like business advisory, and those, you gotta need to go back to the drawing board and ask yourself, is my business model viable then for me to reinvest the money as my building up? It's quite a lot of people in services, because then your business is not your typical funded business, not unless you have a project. Kulego, do you want to come through? And then I will go to Putzelet.
Hi, Precious. I'm running an accounting practice, so I offer accounting, tax, and advisory services.
Okay, so they will only fund you if you have a contract. It's called contract financing. So what's the best way for you to build for the capacity that you are looking for is to actually figure out who needs your services and you charge your high amount. Then you have a monthly retainer. They can find you based on the money that is coming through on a retainer. Is it possible for you to make sure that your clients are all in retainer, Nkululeko?
Yes, that's actually the direction that I'm moving into, because I've got two retainer clients. So I actually want to convert the rest of my client
to be a retain. Then when you have put them Nkululeko as a retain, that is when you'll be fundable. At this point, you will not, because you don't have a proof of income.
Yes.
There's no guarantee that you're going to be existing tomorrow. Another thing, Nkululeko, that you can do, you may actually say to an entrepreneur, I can do your work up front, but you're going to need to pay like an installment over time. The problem with that, though, entrepreneurs are not reliable. They don't fulfill their promises.
Yes.
The risk is then going to be on you. Do you understand what I mean? To beef up your sales. Now, I want to say though, if in your skills in accounting, you build another skill like programming, or you want to buy a software, you can then buy a software and be a distributor. From that, you can then start generating the multi-stream of income.
Yes.
So which means in your case, Kululek, it's not just about you changing your business model, but it's also you identifying your multiple stream of income.
Yes. No, I was actually thinking of moving into the space of training and facilitating. So
perfect. So that you can offer that as your service. But when you're doing that, find find a way of partnering with people who are well established in the training space so that you don't reinvent the wheel.
Okay.
I think sometimes as entrepreneurs, we have a tendency of want to start things ourselves. No, find someone who's already doing it. Maybe you like the way they're doing it, or you appreciate how they are networked. Catch up on someone's network. The last one, Kululeko, if you can do this, you can also acquire the practice. You can also acquire someone else's practice. You can just Google business for sale or accounting firms for sale and partner with someone to buy a business. When you're doing acquisition, NEF does have an acquisition that is different. So you can then get funded. Because that acquisition will have sufficient history of what? Of more earnings.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Kululeko. I'm gonna go to Samuel. You're welcome. Samuel.
Thanks, Sis Precious. I'm in the training space, skills development.
So you, Kululeko, and myself can have another session and say, okay, which space are you at? Are you training in agriculture, tourism? Because in tourism, I'm working with Satovito. In the space here, NPO and cooperatives, I'm working with Sanako. We can then see how you guys can actually support me or the strategy that I'm building in those organizations to then provide the training that is required. So maybe let's reconnect a bit later. I'm gonna be available next week because I'm not in the country, so I will be online, especially in the evening. Then we can share and see what opportunities that we can brainstorm. Guys, the businesses that we are building, we're not gonna build by ourselves. It cannot be about ourselves. It's gonna need to be big. Puseleta, I'm so sorry, saying you kodliwe. Apologies. Please come through. Puteleto, please come through. Apologies, I forgot you. You can talk, but we can't hear you. Can someone hear him?
We can't hear him.
No, we can't hear him.
Okay, maybe type your comment on the chat box. Denise will read it for me. Let me take Gabi.
Hi, my precious.
Hello, Bob.
Yeah, for me, what I'm doing is a service business. I want to do the school talks. So for now, I identified that I need to do Career Expo as soon as February next year. So for this week,
in career guidance.
Yeah, career guidance.
Are you going with a niche career guidance or are you being generic?
When I start, I'm be generic, but I want to go with the niche.
What is your niche?
To help the student to, actually I want to do grade 9 on the career change when they start to select the subject.
Ah, that's a good niche. But can I advise you go with STEM subjects? Focus on the STEM subjects.
Yeah, I'll go there. But for now, you know what is challenging me? I need to raise the funds. So in order to raise the funds, like to get funding, like FinFund, I need to raise the Career Expo next year. So I spoken to the person who said, now what I need is to get a hall. Once I get the hall, there's a NYDA, there's 3 of them. They said they're gonna support me with the resource.
The funds,
So,
what funds are you, what do you need the funds for?
For marketing.
Okay, so, okay, first of all, you don't need funds for marketing. What you need is partnering with are you gonna do this at the local level or at the provincial level, or are you gonna do it at the district level?
Local level.
So this is at a local municipality.
Yes.
And then within the local municipality, you will have counted the school, the number of schools, and then you approach those schools. You can get the facilities for free with the city halls or even the school themselves. The marketing, you're not gonna raise funds from the marketing because you can create a flyer using a Canva, which is free, and then share it with the school and the kids to invite other kids for career guidance and talk. That does not need money.
Okay, yes. I will use the free resource.
Use the free resource, but I need you to tell me, how are you gonna make money from the talks?
I did thorough research. There's more money. It's like once I've got a formula, like the first thing is just to have a structure. There is a company that I pitched them. I told them that what I want to do. I gather 50 learners. They said the minimum is 50 learners. If I can get 50 learners from the school, a certain school, and then I invite them to give this learners the talk about what is doing, that's where they can start to pay me.
Okay, who is gonna pay you?
The company that is like I'm connecting learners to the buyer to the seller.
Oh, so the companies that are looking for those skills are willing to actually fund you.
Yes, that's what they want to do.
But why are they then not paying you to do that?
For now, I just need to build a relationship with the schools first. Then once I've got a relationship with the schools, and then I know this system is working, then I'll take that local schools, and then I go to that company and say, I can get 50 learners. Then they told me what they want from these learners, and then I go to school. Like for instance, if it's a robotic company, I go to the learners that is doing maths and science and everything, and then there will be a requirement to say we need this learner with this kind of subject, and go and do like I do research. I go to school and check this learner is qualifying to come. This learner, no. So when the company comes.
So my suggestion for you, your business model now has a lot of dependencies. That's my challenge with your business model. And these dependencies are outside of your control. When you have a business which has lots of dependence outside your control, you're gonna run into trouble. There's gonna be time where your hands are all tied up because you are depending on those people saying yes or no.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't it sure? So my suggestion is that please have a look at how you are doing this business and the business model so that you somehow tie also the parents, and the parents maybe pay even a entry fee, kids pay for some sort of an entry fee to build you up. Maybe also partner with people that are tutors, who does tutoring if you are in that space for kids in developing the youth and choosing the subject. Don't just look at one aspect of it, look at the whole aspect of it on what are the challenges at that grade, and then try to see if you can come with a holistic approach so that it's different ways you can make money. Don't build your business model on someone saying yes or no. Just be careful about that.
Okay, I will work on this one to check. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Williams, I'm taking you. There is few people on the chat box. Maybe Denise is gonna assist. So Williams, please come through.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, so I have my business idea. It's not a business, I'm not operational yet. It's a portable coffee shop, and I'm located in Western Cape. Stellenbosch. So my target market would be like students and tourism.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I'm looking for is about 100 rand, 100,000 rand. That's what I mean. So yeah, I'm a bit struggling with that.
What do you want to do with that, Williams?
Well, equipment, and then because it is a service, but for the service to operate, is operational equipment basically, and also because it's portable, I do need because I'm thinking of a mobile coffee, well, like a coffee shop, really, is what I'm thinking. So that's, yeah, so that would assist with that. Yeah.
So, okay, so you see, you have a coffee shop, and your target market is the student plus also the tourism. I
Yeah.
think you need to choose one.
Yeah, it would be
Who's your
more.
primary? Who's your primary customer? Who
Well,
makes you most money?
tricky
Who
one.
make you the most money?
I would say students. I would say students.
Is it
So-
student because they're buying from you all the time, or is it student because that there are many of them in where you are?
Yeah, and then also obviously businesses, because it's like the setting will be like where you can do your research. There will obviously be Wi-Fi. So a coffee shop is most like where you use internet and you just busy doing work. It will be a setting of, yeah. So I will. The plan is to actually have a actual place like a coffee shop, but also operate. But I'll start with a portable coffee shop. That's how I want to start. But
Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, the revenue of the current coffee shop, you are saying is not sufficient for you to expand, but you want to expand, but the amount that you're looking for is pretty small.
It's
Why is
big.
the business not
Oh.
able to fund itself?
Because I'm not operational yet. I don't have.
Oh, this will then be a startup.
Yes, because of the load shedding, it would be very challenging to adapt. To adapt in that way, it would be challenging. Yeah.
Yeah. So then, so even if you expand, you're still gonna have the problem, then.
No, I don't think so. I can see it working actually. I know
So
it will work.
let me say this. First of
No.
all, with the current structure that you have,
Yeah.
can you operate without, so that you can have a proof of payment or of income?
What do you
Is it
mean?
possible for you to start without having to ask for the money? Because there is funding for electricity, by the way, entrepreneurs. But they want us. Yes, there is. There is a solar funding. I will share the link with you guys.
Yes.
There is a solar funding. The government has money. There is even a tax deduction.
What?
But the thing is, you must be operating. Your problem is that you are not operating.
Yeah, okay.
You must be operating, and then you are then raising capital. That's why they need to have that proof of there is money for buying solar stuff so that you can continue operating. They also, even in other instances, they can give you grants because they don't want you to get rid of people or to get unemployed. Find a way of operating. Sorry?
Are you saying, Patience, that I don't have to think small? I can ask big. Is that what you're saying? Like the portable coffee shop is a way of thinking small because of adapting to load shedding and everything. But
no, I don't know what your goal. Remember, I'm working with what you are giving me. Yeah. I'm working with what you say. When you started, to me, it sounded as though the coffee shop is already there. That's how you knew that you're making more money from a coffee shop?
Now, I gave it some test runs, like, and where I tested it, it did work a little bit, but it's not consistent because of, yeah, I don't have the right stuff to make it proper. I don't want to build a brand that's going to be, I don't want to start weak. So I want to start it proper. That's why Fundready is like perfect to get it right.
Okay, so I think one, let's go back to your business model. If you are if you are targeting to be earmarked for tourists, then position it as a tourist attraction. Don't then say student. Focus on your real customer target. If maybe the students are not the one that are gonna make you more money, but they use your facility, then talk to that. Because if you're everywhere and then you say just everyone is general, then which means the problem is not so much about a business plan as such, is your business model. You have not necessarily tested. You have not tested the idea. You have not worked through the idea from beginning to the end.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
I hear you. 100% I hear
Okay.
you.
So because if you are positioning it as a tourist attraction, you definitely can get money in terms of tourism. If you're positioning it such. But if you're positioning a student accommodation, you then need to ask yourself, why are you not within the facility of the school to give that, of the university or your institution that you are dealing with? Can you rent? Can you do this? What are the things that you can do to get the shop running? If the shop is closed because there's an electricity problem, then you can then bring the solar. But the solar thing, you must have a business running.
I like it. Okay. I hear you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. There were comments. Dennis, do you want to take the comments from people who have typed the comments on the chat box, especially Puseleto says,
Yes.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Puseleto first, but Bonginkosi, I see you saying that I'm currently running a tutoring company. Puseleto says, I got a team of expert developers that came on board on agreeing with me on starting Township Small Business Chatbot algorithm. I need advice on who can fund this viable potential $1 million idea.
Okay, first of all, I am not clear what problem are you solving, but I also worried that this platform is not the right place to share that, because we're gonna publish this. Can Puseleto DM me, then I will find time for us to speak offline. Okay. And then the other person who said they are doing tutoring. The tutoring is about the business model. The business model of you looking into your business and say, how can I make money from the way I am tutoring? When you are tutoring, you are not reinventing the wheel. We are actually using your expertise and knowledge to explain the same thing that is already existing. So, which then means what you are tutoring on has already existed, but the thing that is different is how you are doing it. You then need to ask yourself, in the day of software technology, where there's apps that does the tutoring, can you take the way of doing things and make it an app so that you are scalable? Those are the things you should be thinking about in the tutoring space. I don't know, did I see someone on the was that you, Bongikos? Okay, Bongikos is fine. So Bongikos, I'm
yes,
saying,
that was him.
Yes. So Bongikos, I am saying you gotta need to say, okay, tutoring, and there's so many softwares that are out there. Ask yourself, can I actually teach a robot to do my tutoring the way I want it to do? And then it is then the robot that is doing what you have, because tutoring about X plus Y is to call it X. How you are doing it, that's what matters. And you then, yeah, okay. Olile, please go ahead.
Thank you, Sis Precious. I'm producing seed, white maize seed for rural small-scale farmers. Fortunately, the demand is there, but then I struggled to find land. Then I've come up with a plan and rushing to own land. Let me outsource land that is suitable for seed production. But then again, when we're making sales, as much as we secured the seed, now farmers are complaining of high cost of chemicals and inputs. Then we decided, we got an opportunity to have an off-grid projector where we are video showing small-scale farmers in rural areas on how they can use readily available material to produce their food, though at a small scale. But then the challenge that I have, I'm not able to make money in the video showing as much as I can make money in the seed. Although at the moment, because of land coupled with funding, it doesn't come at the right time. I may find land and then not having funding at the time because we haven't made good sales for sustainability. As much as I'm working full time, I find myself doing a lot of things, exhausted and not able to follow through at times because farm work it tends to be intensive. What I would like assistance is on how can I get funding for the video showing, more like I will call it a facilitation on the video showing for the farmers on how they can use what they have,
You're
like
showing
simple.
only for what? For to teach. We are teaching the farmers to farm in a certain way.
Yes, using the traditional methods like the organic practices or on how they can minimize on the use of chemicals. Yes.
So, Kolile, my suggestion is that maybe consider designing a program, a training program, and then partner with agriculture institutions and for you to be, so that they pay you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So position yourself as a trainer, position yourself in this practice that you are teaching, but then partner with consultants and other agriculture. Then there's so many. There's aggregators. There is marketplaces. There's several platforms where you can fund the farmers, and then you then sell your service. There's even platforms which are marketplace for farmers.
Okay.
And when you do that, the videos that you are selling, you can sell it maybe for 100 Rand or 200 Rand. And then you build up your network on that. And you can then approach companies like Oxfam. You can approach institutions, even the Agri Council in South Africa. You can approach them because you are showing them something that is different, that is unique.
Okay. All right.
And
No, thank you.
That's the way you can you because you want to make up more money from showing that video, and you want to have more people using that video and the usage, and you continue working on improving it.
Okay.
Okay, I've taken enough questions. Everyone wants to leave now because it's almost 6. Who is stuck on the business plan? You guys share the list? Denise, do a questionnaire to share the list. or you, so that you guys can share the list, send the list to Denise, or we have a new administrator in our office. Her name is
Sibongile is working with us.
Yeah, Sibusiso, right? Sibusiso, you
Sibongiseni.
oh, Sibongseni, oh my word, I keep on, okay. Sibongseni is the lady that's gonna help us with managing some of your notes. So she's gonna get the sessions and stuff. So Nelson, those who are stuck with a business plan, let's talk offline. Yeah, Denise, let's add and make sure that the Sibongseni is in all the groups so that she can then get them and then do the reports so that we keep track of those that are lost or those that are stuck and those that need help. We do have few business plan writers and reviewers that can assist. Okay.
Noted, yes. I did add it to the group, on the groups, the Fundready groups.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Sibusiso, please come through.
Okay, hi, Precious. Could you just, for this assignment that's due, I think, on Saturday, am I getting it correctly if I'm saying that this financial model that we are supposed to draft, essentially, that's like financial statements because of cash flow, there's all the other things that are in the financial statement. So are we coming up with a bogus financial statement? Is that it? I just need to have clarity.
No, it can't be bogus. It cannot be bogus. It has to be a real life where you are showing us your assumptions that you have made. You are showing us the cost in terms of the quotations that you have done. You are also just showing how your business is gonna work block by block. Do you understand? So remember,
Yes.
you have done strategy. You see, if you are saying, Chris, I'm stuck on a business plan, it means the strategy and the business model was not working. Something is not working. Maybe we need to start there. But there is also another part in Sibusiso where because maybe you have not done this business before, you're not going to know the ins and outs of everything. Right? However, that is why we had said that this Fundready is for people that have at least operated at least for the minimum of 2 years, because then there's not a lot of thumb sucking. But if you are already here and you are begging to continue some of the things, let's rather you come back to me and DM me. I will then find time to work with you on how to fix or fill up that gap. But it cannot be a bogus, it can't be thumb sucking. You're gonna need to use the real thing, because it is that real thing that will then call funders to say, here are the viable businesses that we think are actually viable. Because we are looking for deals, team. As JD, we're looking for businesses that are actually gonna be fundable. We wanna build a relationship with you and the funders so that you get the deals that are right.
No,
Okay.
meeting in 6. You have 2 minutes.
Okay, Precious, maybe just so that we are not missing each other. Né? I've done the business plan. Now I've got a business plan which I will fine tune and everything. The issue is not there. But my question is now the financial model that we are supposed to come up with for, I think, as our assignment for week 4. Because now the financial model is based on historical performance, right? So now I'm trying to think now, what figures am I going to be putting in that financial model? Am I coming up with figures? Is this an assignment to test my understanding of financial modeling or what exactly? I'm just trying to
You bring your own business model that you are using now in your business, that you are looking for funding for.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then, okay, in my situation, okay, if I put it this way, I'm transitioning into a sector, so which is what I'm looking for funding for. So now the financial model will be not necessarily be talking to the sector I'm going to, but it will be talking about my past performance of the business. Is that fine?
Yeah. So you are exactly where I am at. I'm transitioning from consulting and training to property development. But the funders still want to see what you have done before. That is why
Okay.
you're still operating in the same company. You are not opening up another new company because you don't
Okay.
want to be like a startup.
All right. Okay. All right.
So in my business, I actually have I have three business plans. I have a publishing one. I also have a training one. I now have a real estate one. Even within the real estate, there's a investment property and then there's property development, because those are total different businesses, but still within the real estate. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
The moment the business model is different, it then means the financial model is going to be different.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. It's 6 o'clock. Guys, we're not always going to agree on how this program is running. We will step on your feet. Actually, I will step on your feet all the time. Why? Because I have seen how this plays out. I've seen how these programs run out. We have had NEF program, bank seat. Right now, we're running ISA's training programs. You either get what we are seeing and you implement the things that we are saying, or you don't, because then you're going to remain being stuck in one area. We have best intentions for you to succeed. Best intention for you to succeed. And you have agreed that you're going to allow us to hold your hand in moving step by step into this. So trust the process and trust the dedication and the time that we're putting in, and work through what you can work through, and understand that life is about you do your part the best way you can. As you're doing your part, there's always someone watching. There's always someone who's just watching, and then one day your opportunities and the things that you need to do happen. Yes, we want our businesses to generate big monies. We want to finally have big businesses but we're not there yet. There's certain things that we need to go through, and those things that we're going through are meant to then help us. The more we're overcoming those challenges, the more we get bigger in having an ability to solve bigger problems. I also want to say that you will rather be an entrepreneur who own a 1% of $1 billion, because a 1% of $1 billion is better than 100% of nothing. And that is for my closing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Pindile, talk to me DM with your questions, and thank you so much. Remember to complete the attendance register. Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Yes.
Lots of love, guys. Bye.
Thank you so very much, my precious. It was fruitful today.
Thank you. Bye. We will need, Denise, let's do another brainstorming with individuals, please. Thank you so much. Denise, thank you.